Good morning, everyone online. Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone in the Gampa.
Buen día.
Robbie, can you announce what's happening after the teachings? Because I've got a lot of people joining Zoom right now, so it's hard for me to get up. And the lights are messed up. I don't know what's going on.
Is Geshe going to start a little early? Stop a little early? Okay. Just wanted to remind people that Geshe is going to end the teachings a little bit early today, and then we're going to have an open presentation and discussion about plans that are being made for center renovations and improvements. We've been in this building for 20 years. And it's been a wonderful location, but it's starting to show its age in some ways. And there's necessary improvements and also desired improvements that the board of directors has been looking at making a reality. So everybody is welcome to stay for that discussion. It'll be very informal questions and answers.
Thank you, Robbie. And that will happen immediately after the teachings, so you stick around if you can. And those of you on Zoom can stay as well. And YouTube. So good morning to everyone who's here in person at the Gampa as well as online. Welcome. Geshe should be arriving momentarily, so when he does arrive, it looks like we have some new folks here today. We'd stand once he arrives, and then he will do prostrations, and he has invited us to do prostrations with him at the same time. This is a little unusual. Most teachers, we wait until they do their prostrations and sit before we start. But Geshe has encouraged us to prostrate with him. If you feel like prostrating and you're comfortable with that and it's something you would like to do, feel free. It basically is a way to show respect for our teacher as well as the teachings. If otherwise, you can just simply stand and then sit when the rest of us do. So welcome. Okay. Geshe-la is circumambulating. He is here. He should be in just a moment.
Please turn to page 34 in the Gold Prayer Book, and we'll chant Shakyamuni Buddha's mantra 3 times, and the Medicine Buddha stanza and mantra, and then the 4 measurables, all on page 34. Te ata mune mune maha munaye soha. Te ata mune mune maha munaye soha. Te ata mune mune maha munaye soha. Bhagawan, with equal compassion for all, whose name when merely heard dispels the suffering of the lower realms, dispel of disease and the 3 poisons, I prostrate to Medicine Buddha, lapis light. Te ata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze bekanze raja samugate soha. Te ata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze bekanze raja samugate soha. Te ata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze bekanze raja samugate soha. Te ata om bekanze bekanze maha bekanze bekanze raja samugate soha. Teata Om Bekanze Bekanze Maha Bekanze Bekanze Raja Samugate Soha Teata Om Bekanze Bekanze Maha Bekanze Bekanze Raja Samugate Soha Teata Om Bekanze Bekanze Maha Bekanze Bekanze Raja Samugate Soha. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends or hatred for enemies. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends or hatred for enemies. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends or hatred for enemies. Now please turn to page 37, and at the bottom of that page you'll see the two mantras. So first we'll say the verse of praise and mantra for Chen Reisig, and then we'll do the green Tara verse of praise and mantra. Not veiled by any fault, white in color, whose head a perfect Buddha crowns in light, gazing compassionately at all beings, to you, Chen Reisig, all-seeing one, I prostrate. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Tare liberates from cyclic existence. Tutare liberates from the 8 fears. Ture liberates from all sickness. I prostrate to the liberator, Mother Tara. Om Tare Tu Re Soha. 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 Now please turn to page 34, and Geshe will lead us in the refuge and bodhicitta prayer. Chudon so ki chonam la janchu ba du dani kapsuchi dagi chunye gi pesanam gi dola benchu sangye tu pasho. Chudon so ki chonam la janchu ba du dani kapsuchi dagi chunye gi pesanam gi dola benchu sangye tu pasho. Chudon so ki chonam la janchu ba du dani kapsuchi dagi chunye gi pesanam gi dola benchu sangye tu pasho.
Sanjay Sora Rabdo Shijin Deven Junjuman Dela Shija Tampe Chunju Chinin Deshe Namalaya Ganu Nandri Gitaman Yagana Tamje Kedo Dagi Chuten to Kange Tuzen Yason Tawa Tamje Bombe Tampe Chunin the Mogotam de Launch. Good morning. Usually I should do this. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. So first, please, short introductions. If you don't mind taking a few minutes to introduce to yourself, each other. After that, then we do short meditation, okay? Good morning, Alexander. Good morning. Good morning, Maria. Good morning, Nico. Good morning, Patricia, Patagonia. Good morning, Colin. Good morning, Joanna.
Good morning.
Good morning, Meta. Good morning, Cameron Paul. Oh, good morning, Venerable Tenzin Lamo. Good morning, Pati Panditji. Good morning, Nagarjuna. Good morning, Suzanne. Good morning, Javena. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Esther. Good morning, Ami. Ami. So, good morning, Marcelo Fernanda. Good morning, anybody watching on YouTube, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we're going to end a little early.
Yeah.
Can you just say something about community?
Yeah. Okay.
Like you said
Yeah.
before, that'd be great.
Okay.
If you start with that, then we'll take over.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, everyone.
Suzanne, are you drinking mate?
Everyone, if you could wrap up your conversations and head back to your seat.
Thank you very much. So today what's going to happen? First we meditate a little bit. So then we will continue our discussions about like self-love. That question has been raised like self-love, you know. So I'm not very familiar with that concept. In our society, we don't talk about, nobody really talks about self-love. So then you come here, you hear. But I've been here now 26 years, same center. I was very much like to all of us together. We hoping to create meditations for self-love. Therefore, last two Sunday, Linda, last two Sunday, we have been talking.
At least, maybe 3.
3? Maybe it's going too long now. Maybe time to maybe time to stop. So I request Linda, our SPC, take note. What I'm hoping each person says something, not read the book just from heart. What really self-love means, what is self-love, and what one can do to love oneself. So that, so we ask people, without too much pressures, you share, then we are hoping to come some kind of outline. So then I can think from the Buddhist philosophy, or Buddha's teachings, then what kind of, what types of Buddha's teaching will fit into that category, and see the Buddhist ultimate goal is to make all sentient beings have happiness, not just this group, that group, believer, non-believer. You don't exclude anything. You include every breathing living being. You wish them all happy. That is the primary goal. So based on that, then I think we all bear some kind of responsibility, moral responsibility to help each other. Doesn't have to be Buddhist, doesn't have to be believer. Just leave that up to them. So then, struggle that we as a human, there's common struggle. We all human go through, not just you. Every human, there's 8 types of struggle that comes with the package. There's nothing really you can do much. So need to just accept. So then trying to move on. So maybe today then continue the discussions. So then after that, first let me please bear with me some few minutes. I need to explain what's going to happen today. So then after that, so then Dr. Watkin, our director, will
We'll share what the plans are.
Okay, we'll share what the plans are for the center. Some of you think, oh, this is my center. This is not my center. I just come here to teach. I don't involve day-to-day, running things. I have no clue. The board runs, So when you come here, everything's clean. It's all voluntary. It's the last 26 years, We are in the basement. When I first came, there's probably 20 people fit in when I first came in. When it's rain, all the carpet get wet. It's in the basement of the building, rent is $250. Nobody willing to move out. We just cram. We just hide to cram. Just cram. You are in, you are in. You are out, completely out, like that. That situation, many, many years. Eventually move here. So now, last many years, I've been thinking that we need strong communities. Be there when you're struggling, or even just one phone call, In order to do that, you need to know people. Class, most of the time I forget, there's limited time, I forget to request you to introduce each other. Then you come here, you sit, then you don't talk, you listen, finish, then you go out, then you don't talk to anybody. That's not the way to build strong community. So I'm thinking I'm thinking to have more social event. Come here, have food, something nice food to eat, do some prayer at the beginning, some meditation. Then after that, no class, just talk. So, that's the primary goal, that whoever comes here, came through, went by, maybe some of them already passed away. For example, lady who donated this entire floor that we sit on, she's already passed away. Every time when I come in, I remember her. And I didn't do prayers, I said prayers. Like that, so many people came by, went through, some new people are coming. So we need to create this bond and be there, people are moving, new places, people need help to move the furniture, little things like that, we as a community can help. In order to do that, we need to know each other, otherwise, hard to help. So there's a primary goal to have right now, there's no hot water. I don't know how many years we've been here.
I'm not sure, a long time. 17 years.
17 here, no hot water. So this is not like meeting with the board say it's not meeting with a commercial building code. I'm not sure what that is. Like, it's kind of like illegal or something. I'm not sure like what. So, yeah, so you could, there's no adequate kitchen to cook anything. When there was a big event, so Gishi Sambo's sister-in-law cooked something, then his son, like nephew, which is 14, bringing boiling hot soup or tea, car, and it's all complication. So here we are hoping to have adequate kitchen where you can cook, serve meal, so that it's all about like creating strong bond, doesn't matter. We don't bother they are Buddhist, not Buddhist, believer, not believer. We all believe in happiness. We all seeking, regardless who we are, Tibetan, monks, nuns, lay people. We are every single second, we are all seeking happiness. That's the fact. So what we can do to help them to achieve that, what is in small way. So that's the whole goal. To the director explanation will be after the class. I'll in the class a little bit earlier. Okay, so that's the today's event. Oh yeah. I think just one person's doing all of that is like very complicated. I think we need to work as a group. It's our center, we need to volunteers, make sure that everything's running well. Nobody like helping us, just us. We trying to make this center usable and like do something good, help. Even just one day, people come eat food, they're happy. That's our goal. This is not business. This is spiritual sanctuary. This is not business. It's not some type of business thinking to make money. Our primary goal is to make people learn something and meditations that help themselves to be a little bit happier. That's our primary goal, okay? Oh, yeah. So now the meditation maybe almost like 5 to 10 meditations. So this meditation, this meditation will directly help you to recognize conventional nature of your awareness. Conventional nature of your awareness. That's what this meditation is for. The goal is to lead this meditation, hopefully this meditation will lead to recognize ultimate nature awareness. That's the goal. This one, Tangbo Leje Simnyaba, Tangbo means beginner. Maybe say like someone who never meditated before, Tangbo Leje means beginner. Sim, awareness. Name is be still. The mind, still mind. Still mind. Make sense? Still mind. Not like monkey mind. Not a monkey mind, sorry. Still mind. Tangbu leje sim nepas. Drupe menjung, drup means to achieve that, how to make your mind still. Menjung means the best technique, best method. Not just that, very skillful method, the best skillful method, how to keep your mind still. Tambili jese nebo drupe menjung tamza, simji kunzup convention. Simji kunzup conventional nature of awareness. This meditation will introduce you the conventional nature of awareness. So that then, fourth Panchen Lama, many hundreds of years ago, he's the one who wrote this text. The Panchen of the Chuje wrote this text a couple of hundred years ago, or Tibetan master, not Indian, Tibetan master. So, how you do this meditation? So best, first, of course, need to physically very relax. Try to make sure there's no physical stress, just completely relax. Nobody going to judge, nobody. Just relax, feel comfortable. In this room, everybody's trying to be kind. Nobody going to judge. So just sit comfortably. Don't worry about how you sit, but sit, still sit comfortably. So now the object here. So then, better not to have concern, worry, just leave that behind. Expectations, leave that behind. Leave behind expectations, concern, worry, just leave them behind. Namdo, self-talk, self-stories, stop that. For sake of meditation, just stop that. Namdo. Nothing to analyze, nothing to analyze, nothing to look, nothing to analyze. This meditation, we are not looking at anything, nothing to analyze anything. Yo means moving. Here, I'm not talking about physical awareness, consciousness, mind. If it's moving, it's going different. Should not be like that. Yo me, chungse means little bit. Nyambarsha means meditate. Just a little bit meditate. Meditate a little bit. So maybe in this case, maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I don't know. So what is the object here? This appearances. Nawa nawa appearances, like space. It's not this, it's not that. It's like almost like clear mirror, no reflections. But it has the ability to reflect everything. But right now, there's no reflection, just a mirror. Focus on that. Nothing to find, nothing to analyze, nothing to look for. This meditation needs to be like big bird gliding, not flipping, gliding in the sky. Once a while, then few flip of the wing, not constant. So then, just gliding like that, meaning this meditation needs to be very relaxed one. During the meditation, if thought rise, simply recognize them, don't follow. Before the mental state is like murky water. Slowly, slowly, all the dust settles down in the bottom. Then your awareness becomes like crystal clear, still water. Very calm, not moving, very still, very clear. This meditations, if you wonder, like, did Geshe Gelek make this up last night, just made it up? No. If you wonder, did he just made it up? No. So this text called Mahamudra, text I mentioned, is author Panchen Lama, fourth Panchen Lama, wrote this text a couple hundred years ago. Mahamudra teaching, if you look at the teaching, it's there. It's not composed by me, it's composed by Panchen Lama. So if you wonder about the source, that's where this meditation is coming from, okay? First, in order to experience peace within the mind, first mind needs to be calmed down, needs to become still and calm, so that calm and stillness and calmness produce peace in the mind. Why that not much peace in mind? So much going on all the time. Therefore, chungse little bit, every day little bit, 2 minutes, 1 minute, little bit, just sit quietly, try to experience through these instructions composed by Panchen Lama, Panchen Lama Chuji Gyaltsen. Just follow the instructions and see what you can do. Just sit. So then eventually, not right away, eventually this meditation, hope, mental state is like, feels like murky water, even nature is very clear, can see so much going on. Sit, eventually it's all this active consciousness or thought become subconsciousness, meaning it will like dust, it will settle down in the bottom, separates. Nature of awareness is like still clear water. Rest is just dust. So no. So when your meditation become light, not at the beginning, maybe a little after a few minutes, when it become like that, when you feel like you are now, mind is like still, clear water. When it become like that, then just pause. Nothing to search, nothing to look, nothing to judge, nothing to find, just pause. Just be there. Thought rise, simply recognize them, don't follow. Namdo kangda kangcheba, teta tini ngusungchas. When thought rise, just simply notice them, do nothing. Another way, namdo kangchi ngolas. Whatever thought rise, if you stare at them, it will disappear. Namdo kangda, namdo kangchi ngola, teses, rangsal, what will appear? Absence of that thought. If you stare at that thought, what will appear? It's not going to appear some kind of monster. It will appear the absence of thought. When you stare at them, it will appear, it will disappear. What's left? Absence of thought. That's what we need. That is very much needed in order to achieve still calm mind. So then hope that will produce some degree of peace in the mind that you enjoy. Okay, choose a little bit. Beginning short. If you enjoy, then do multiple times. When you become very good at that meditation, when you become very familiar with that meditation, then long. Not few, not many, few, then long. So then that's how the meditation is done. There's a skillful way of doing any form of meditations. When the best time to stop? When you feel good, when you feel you achieve something, stop. Don't stop when you feel like you throw up. That's not good. That means you push to the end that you even physical body that's rejected. No, that's the very bad way of ending meditations. The best way of ending meditation, when you feel good, stop. So then, do something else, then do meditation. Okay. So now, how much time do you have, Linda?
You can go 11:30, 11:45.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So now, please, discussions continues. Maybe when I have something to say, when Tenzil from Virginia has something to say, and anyone online, if you want to contribute, so we are collecting your understanding from your heart, understanding of self-love from your heart. We are collecting that information, and we are hoping that we can create self-love meditation. And I myself don't know how to do, need your help. So we, as a group, we create, then we use here Kadampa Center. So then if even one person benefit, that's wonderful, okay? So, when you want to say something, when we discussed yesterday, 2 days ago,
Josephine has something to say.
yeah.
Josephine, you can go ahead. You can unmute.
Yes. Hi. What the way I see the way I see self-love from Buddhism, from the little I understand, I have learned, is that one of the four mahas is equanimity, and that means that I cannot love others less or more. Right, like I need to love and have compassion the same way for every sentient being, and that needs to include ourselves. There cannot be equanimity if we are not including ourselves. If we don't have self-compassion, if we don't have self-love, and I think from the beginning, from Gautama Siddhartha, when he wanted to investigate suffering and how to end suffering and began his quest, he did it first individually, and then once he had reached nirvana and had full bodhicitta and direct understanding of emptiness, which is the two wings, then he extended that to everybody. So self-love doesn't mean that we should have arrogance or see others more, put others first or after ourselves. But we need to kind of have that, practice that kind of equanimity, but we always need to include ourselves. That's all. Thank you.
Summarize.
Yeah. So, Josephine, correct me if I didn't get this right, but the gist of it is we need equanimity. So we're not putting this is what Josephine, I think, said. We're not always putting others before ourselves or ourselves before others, but we're trying to get that equanimity, including ourselves. And we can't love others unless we can love ourselves. Is that correct, Josephine?
Correct.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
So now we can put everything people said. That will be like a nightmare before we do self-love meditations. So what I'm hoping is it's like in the Buddhist teachings, the way they line up like precious human life. It's like almost like icon. When you click there, there are so many informations. So then impermanent, then that's like that. That's what I'm hoping. Or self-respect. Or so much been said, but summarized into sounds like more like self-respect. Very good, self-respect. Or self-acceptance. So much been said, self-acceptance. So then my side, all the study they have done, like back in the monastery, then I'm thinking like where these teachings of Buddha will fit, which part, self-acceptance, self-respect, where then, so then like everything that you said has been recorded there, so we write down that as a commentaries. So they say, oh, self-respect, 10 people contributed, so then we go through them, then just meditate what people say. Okay, that's the goal. Anybody else?
Yeah, Joanna, do you want to say yours or do you want me to read it?
You can read this later. My English is so bad. I can explain in case.
Okay, self-love is accepting our weaknesses, accepting our failures and everything we did in the past as they are, and looking forward. So accept our faults and look forward instead.
I hope you will summarize me on the right on there. Yeah.
It's summarized.
Each person has right done. So then,
It's not. It's all. This is what is self-love. I don't know what is self-love, but for me it's easy to accept the other as instead of myself. So if I can accept myself like I accept the other, it will be good.
very good, wonderful. Wonderful, Josephina, Giovanna, wonderful. Thank you for contributions, very good.
And anyone in here, you can raise your hand. Just wait for the microphone since it is being recorded and folks online can hear.
No pressures, no pressures. Please do it like out of compassion and love that somebody's asking these questions. So
Andre's got it.
Yeah.
Venerable Tenzin, I'll be with you in just a moment.
I was thinking about this. I don't know if it was said before or not, but it's definitely worth repeating if it was. And that is, I think being able to rejoice in our good deeds. We put ourselves down so much, and I know one of the teachings is rejoice when we do something. When we do something right, when we do something good, rejoice. I think it's okay sometimes to pat yourself on the back, Yeah, I did that, not arrogantly, but just knowing, I did that. I feel good because I did that. I think that's loving ourselves.
Yeah, so they probably need to teach it back in the monastery, all the monks. Oh, you did a good job. Nobody does that, so maybe teach the monk. 5 minutes, oh, you did a good job, you worked so hard, studied so hard, now you deserve some breaks. Very good.
Venerable Tenzin Lama, you can unmute.
Yes, Geshe-la, it's important, of course, to consider the feeling side of this and all the emotions people have. Like last week, people and fear. I also want to bring up that for me, it has a lot to do with your behavior. So, for example, if you think lying is bad, but then you find yourself lying, it will make you feel bad and it will make you feel like a failure. If you believe lying is bad and you don't lie, it will produce that self-respect you were speaking of. And I think that in our culture, there's so much emphasis on feelings and maybe not so much on behavior. So I wanted to bring that idea up, that self-love is directly connected to how we behave. And then the second point is to emphasize this discussion from a Dharma point of view. What we have now that we consider our self or our identity is actually so temporary, and it's really the tool we have to create our future lives, whether they're good or bad or happy, whether we have contact with people that are kind to us or not. So in an expanded sense, self-love is understanding that through this instrument we have now, we're creating our own future, and to do that thoughtfully and carefully.
Very good, one. Well said. Oh. Summarize.
I might not get everything, but at the end, it was a nice little wrap up, that understanding that through the Dharma, through our Dharma practice, we have the tool to then, I guess, like, plan and better our lives. That's not what you said, Venerable, but...
How's about Linda, like, be aware of the behavior?
Yeah.
Be aware of the behavior or conduct.
Yeah. It's actually our behavior that determines what our future lives are going to be like, right? Our speech, our thoughts.
So I like what you said, 2 days ago when I talked to you. Kind of interesting point that you brought up. So when you ask someone, then you said when you ask someone, how are you doing? Usually people answer the question based on their feeling. But that's what you said, you said that's not what you're asking. You are asking what you are doing, not feeling. So then we answer, Venerable Tenzin Lama is a psychologist. She's a psychologist many years. So then another interesting point that Venerable Tenzin Lama, you said, I found quite interesting that what you said, please correct me if I spoke mistakenly. If I remember correctly, you said that we should not let our life rule controlled by our feeling. Is that correct?
That's correct, Geshe-la, because feelings change. You feel good at breakfast, bad at lunch, ecstatic at dinner, and despairing by the time you go to bed. Feelings change all the time. So if you measure who you are, what your worth is, your accomplishments by how you feel, there can never be any stability. But if you measure all that on the basis of what you actually do, then it's like having a dependable yardstick instead of a yardstick that's changing all the time.
So I don't understand that part. So not just today, yesterday also I don't understand that part when you said, what is the yardstick?
measure.
How to measure? Please, can you repeat this measurement things?
If you, Geshe-la, like if you want to measure something, like how much
Oh.
space for a window, then you have
Okay.
a measuring stick.
Oh,
That
oh,
has to be reliable.
oh,
So if you
okay, okay.
if you want to measure yourself and you try to use how you feel as your measuring stick, it's always changing. But if you use how you behave, like was I kind, was I truthful, was I patient, on the basis of your behavior, not your feeling, then it becomes stable. Was that clear? I hope that was better.
That's very clear. So now my ignorance is very thick. So because I don't understood the word they used to say like yardstick, I'm thought like maybe some stick you in backyard or something. Sorry, my ignorance.
Sorry.
Not your part. So I was very interested what she said when the Lama said, I'm just checking on myself. Am I like letting control my life with my feeling? I just never thought about that, investigating. So then she said, if you let your life controlled by feeling, there will be no happiness. Yesterday, I have another guest at my house, old Indian lady, Indian, very devoted to her faith, Hindu. I asked her, please, I asked her out of pink blank, I said, what is self-love? And she looked at me and said, then, said there's conversation, it's all born, she said, happiness. Happiness is a self-love. Maybe something to, contributed by the Indian kind aunt. Happiness. So now that I was born in close to the border of Tibet, Sikkim. I was born there. I was raised in the monastery. I was there when I was 7 years old. All my life was there. So that part of the world, there's very little time to analyze your feeling. Things that you have to do. This is not based on your feeling. Getting firewood is not based on your feeling. You don't check your feeling, how I feel, or you don't eat. You have to go outside a few miles, get the cow dung for fire. You have to do that chore. It's not based on your feeling. So it's kind of interesting, we are all human, do things differently. There, people talk about here, they don't talk about that. Something they talk about here, make big deal there, people doesn't seem like bothered by that idea. So trying to find like, they're like, you can't check your feeling. They don't have luxury for that. You have to do, whether you feel good or not, you have to do. There's routines you have to do. So here, maybe you don't have to do. If you don't feel good, maybe you don't have to do like that. So anyway, so the whole goal is to create self-love meditations. Then all this feet is pulled out. Then hoping to create. Maybe do we need one more Sunday or finish? Self-love.
It's up to you, Geshe-la.
At least how the list is getting.
The list is long.
That's good. That's very good news. Very good news.
I can get it together and give it to you, and then you
Yeah,
can
maybe
decide.
Then test. That's exactly ancient time. Somebody write books, goes to all the scholar, they read, what do you call? They review. At the end of the line, that's how they review. That's like each line, 100 people send the books from the bottom. All these are educated, they read, maybe page by page, any mistake, red mark. Goes there, I'm not sure how many people. If there's tons of red mark, meaning not good. What they do, they tie all this paper, sorry, it's not nice thing to do, but that's what they do. So make sure in the future that not everybody just write. So they put it together, all the paper, tie with a rope to the tail of the dog tail. Author beyond the dog, pepper head, not fancy pepper head, just to embarrass, to go around the town. Make sure it doesn't happen again, just don't just write down. It has to have source or where your message is like originated from where. It's not just, you can't just make things up. So that's why when people write a book, they are very mindful. It's not about them, so there's, I'm not sure why I'm saying the stories. Sorry.
You mentioned we'll compile it and then have others review it.
Yeah. So that's what we do. We now have all the informations, we review them. Then after that, if the review is passed, meditators, they test them. They test the group of people, they meditate. So they gain some kind of spiritual insight or experience or meditation experience. So that is good instructions. Wrote by some scholar, well-educated, proved by all the scholars, then now tested by meditator, produce result. So that kind of instruction, if we follow, then it will produce some result. Hoping same thing here, people give feedback from their heart. Their heart, they said many things, heart. So we'll put it together and we test. You can lead, I can lead, maybe most likely you are the one going to leading the meditations, because it's all in English, not in Tibetan. So then we rotate and lead, self-accepting what you say, just meditate. Okay? So with that, so then I'll stop here. And again, looks like we do need volunteering. All the light also indicates it's going like up and on, up and up. So again, please think. Your home may have no enough space for altar, beautiful altar. This is our center. You can come here, meditate, voluntary, make it nice, beautiful, more like when people come in, they feel good. So this is me and all of us, our responsibility. And some of the people did that job, now passed away, long time, many years ago. And many people, this all the altar, this everything, people who donate all this Buddha's teachings, donated or the fund. They never come to Kadampa Center, but they funded all of them. Why I put it there? I don't believe when you come here, you have many things to do in weekend, many chores to run. You come here hoping to gain something, at least. I don't believe that you are seeing me, you get any benefit. But seeing entire Buddha's teaching, I'm hoping they will leave you positive imprint in your mind stream. Seeing the entire Buddha's teachings, everything the Buddha said, all the Buddha's teaching is here. So just come here, you look up, then you see this old holy image, at least you get some positive imprint. Then last thing, I always forget, Wednesday night class, Sunday night class, we have this built stupa. You see that stupa? We build it for you. So that is like, it contains so many relics. I myself always trying to go one round when I'm coming in, when I go out, I'm trying to go to one round. And not just that, we also created very nice walking path. Everybody contributed walking path. So that when you go around entire building, there's all this holy object, all the teachings. And believe it or not, it purifies. Cause of suffering, it purifies. It creates the cause of happiness. And going with positive mindset for your family, for your friend, for your pet. If you have pets, you are welcome to bring them here. Let them take at least 3 rounds. It benefits them. So I always meant to remind you every Sunday. I forget. Of course, I don't blame you. Forget too. I was trying to remind you. It's not that hard. Just go around. Traditionally, go 3 rounds. It won't take that long. It purifies so much. So then that merit would be not waste. This is very particular merit you created. So it will ripen sometime. It's good to have many of them in our minds too. So that's for center, build it for all of you who come to center here. Creating merit without talking. We just go around, okay? Yeah, so then with that, I'll stop. So now Dr. Watkin, our director, Dr. Watkin. Yeah. Yeah, first we do dedication.
Okay, please turn to page 246. Yes. And we'll read the dedication verses from Shanti Deva. May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings of body and mind, obtain an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of our merits. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled with the mind weighed down by depression. May the blind see forms and the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding repose. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may these never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid, and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think of benefiting each other. For as long as space remains, for as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Now on page 244 and 245, the long life prayers. First for His Holiness, so the line. In the land encircled by stone mountains, you're the source of all happiness and good, all powerful Chen Rezik Tenzin Gyatso. Please remain until samsara ends. And then for Sarah J. Kinsen Rinpoche Jitsen Lo Sandalak on page 245. The one who masters speech at a very young age, the one with great patience received the name Alatare, the one with great precision who spread the teachings of Lama Tsongkhapa and Bliss and Void, Lama ornament of the yellow hat tradition. Please remain until samsara ends. And then on the inside back cover for Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Peerless teacher and assembly of the children of victorious ones, Shravakas and Prateka Buddhas, victorious Lozang, father and sons, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of the infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now. Holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings through explanation and practice, were the arm of patience that is never discouraged, incomparable Venerable Guru, to you I make request. While striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and for mother living beings, you suddenly departed to peace. What a great loss. Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels and the great waves of bodhicitta of the children victorious ones, may the smile of a reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortune and silence. Now the inside front cover. First, the prayer for the long life of Geshe-la. Supreme Guide, you lead us on the many paths of virtue. A shining sun, you give us the best of excellent explanations. Supreme virtuous friend, you are constant Dharma companion. Lama, who has renounced Spain, may you ever remain. And then for Geshe Sampo, you who have steadfast imprints of virtuous qualities and keep the instructions of our Guru in your heart. You who pass day and night with noble activities, great virtuous friend, may you have a very long life. And then 7 Tara mantras for all beings. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. 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 Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha.
Thank you very much. Dr. Watkin, 1 minute, I forgot something. Just maybe 30 seconds. So, so this, what is this social event? So then we come here, maybe do some meditation, maybe say few prayers, maybe some short meditation, then acknowledge all the volunteers who's been volunteering here years after year, many years. I think it's important to people to know that's what we do. Back in the monastery, 6,000 monks, we acknowledge all the volunteers. So, and then social hoping this this program will create the opportunities to have the social event throughout the years. So then eventually create a group that checks on people who then each other. So now we've been doing that, then somehow now it's kind of disappeared. So if somebody gets sick, make sure the center goes there to check on, so make sure that person's okay. So then why I see this social strong community is very important. One time I'm saying this to one of our members, and he says, I was sick, but nobody calls me. We don't know. People don't know. That's kind of heartbreaking. Talking about loving kindness, compassion, all of a sudden one of your members gets sick, nobody's calling. Even making one call, it makes a big difference. So that it's time to put our knowledge into actions. So we need to be there for each other. There's nothing wrong accepting help from others. There's nothing wrong. We need to be kind to each other. We need to be there for each other. So then, that is the purpose of meditation. That is the fruit of prayer, love, service. All is that, comes down to that. Be there for each other when we are struggling. Okay? Yeah, I'll stop now. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Geshe-la. Let's just take a
Gracias,
moment.
Gracias, Talia, a todos.
Let's just take a moment and set our motivation for coming together now for this discussion and planning session. And we may think that everything we do together over the next few minutes will be to create a space that enables us to bring the wishes of our teachers to complete, perfect, and rapid fulfillment. So thank you, everyone, for being here this morning. I just want to give people a little bit of background. Geshe-la talked on it. We moved out of the basement with the wet carpets and the bad air. What year was that, David? 2007. We bought this space, which had previously been a fish store, so there was a lot of renovation to do, a lot of mold and things like that that had to be addressed. And just to clear things up, everything was done legally, okay? We're not going to be kicked out or anything. Everything was according to code at that time. Now, it wasn't necessarily done to the highest quality, and there were a lot of things we wanted to do that we didn't. But we bought the space in 2007, then we added the classroom structure a few years later, built the stupa, and then we installed the solar panels just a couple years ago, which provide us with all our 100% of our electricity now. We get through that through working with Duke Power on that. And in the interim, a couple people, including Diane, who I'm glad to see here this morning, launched a campaign to pay off our mortgage. So we own this fairly valuable piece of real estate, lock, stock, and barrel. We don't owe any money on it, but it certainly behooves us to take care of it. And there is a lot of maintenance and updates that we've put off. The light show that you've seen this morning, we think that's a Duke Power outside the building issue, but that's already being looked into. That's kind of, I hope it didn't bother you too much, Geshe-la, with these flashing lights behind you. But understanding that, and also with an understanding, I think people have realized that people are going to come to the center for big events, special events, visiting teachers, initiations, social events, things like that. We get a big influx of people for events like that, and we need to be able to accommodate that and make sure that everybody has a bad experience. The center functions very well, a good experience, yeah. I don't know where that came from, because I think everybody has been having a good experience. The center functions very well on Sunday morning or Wednesday evening when we have manageable groups like this, but when we have big events, we really have to bend over backwards and cut corners and kind of do some workarounds with what we have. So considering all of that, we've had a group which includes David Strevel and Heather. Who else has been on? Linda and Donna have been working to come up with plans for what we need to make the center more functional and to take good care of it. And a lot of it involves changing out the wiring, so we have electrical outlets where we don't have them now. Improving the plumbing, including accessible water outside so that Monica and her team can keep up our beautiful grounds. As was mentioned, hot water, a lot more storage for our spiritual program. We currently have 2 off-site storage units, and we really want to stop paying for those, so a lot of cabinetry and storage areas, and then an improved kitchen area that functions to serve a lot of people for the potlucks that John heads, and when we have, okay, excuse me, that John helps with, yes, yeah, and for when we have busy events. So I think with that background, I'm going to let David, do you want to tell people a little bit more about what we're planning or where things stand? And, David's been managing this, and, this all has to be done with contractors and city approval and electricians and builders. We're going to use volunteer labor to do the demolition. Is one place we're going to save money, but yeah.
Yes, this is working okay, huh? Yes, I think we started 8 or 9 months ago now, and our committee tried to decide, well, what is it we need to improve our kitchen? We haven't had any hot water in the kitchen for a long time. We have old donated cabinets that a couple of people gave us 10, 15 years ago, and we don't have any Dharma storage, so our plan, we met and looked at things and tried different ideas, and finally the idea now is that we would remodel the existing kitchen space, and we would extend that into what's now the office, and we would have to move the office across to what's now the nursery. And we would use about 2/3 of the nursery space for a large set of cabinets that are about 2 feet deep and go 9 feet high, so that all of that stuff that Donna and Linda store, the Dharma related stuff, can be put in there. So that's the plan. Then in addition, there's a lack of wiring here in the building that was left that way years ago to save money. For example, there's no electrical outlets in this whole room except for 2 over on that wall, 1 back there. So there's none in this wall. We just skimped on things. So now the plan includes putting plugs in this wall, both sides. It includes extending the plumbing so we have outdoor faucets to water our beautiful grounds. Right now we have to run hoses all over the place. And so about 6 months ago, we engaged Cherry Architecture. They're a firm here in town, been here many years. They're quite well known for doing beautiful libraries and other buildings around town. So they've been working on the plans. And yeah, they did the original 2007 remodeling here too. So they've been working, and finally this week, we are just getting to the final plans that are fit to submit to City Hall. And this process is, first the architect has to draw up a large set of plans. You'll see them on the table out here in the lobby. Big 2-foot by 3-foot sheets of paper. I think there's 14 of them, and it includes all kinds of details about the plumbing, the wiring, the cabinetry, where the walls might be changed, doors changed, and so on. And so after all this time, we're about to get a final cost estimate, and we're about to submit the plans to City Hall, and they say that it may take up to 3 months to get City Hall approval, that they're very overloaded, and things go very slowly there with plan approval. So that's the plans, that's where we're at in the project, and so now we're just trying to review it with people to let everyone know, and I'm sure a fundraising campaign will be part of the effort, but we were thinking at least a couple of months from now, 2 or 3 months from now. It appears like construction would probably occur during the fall of this year, September, October, November, perhaps. I wouldn't doubt it would take 3 months. There's 2 or 3 walls to move somewhat, and a new door or two, and in terms of volunteer effort, at the start of the whole thing, we would need volunteers to take out all the existing kitchen cabinets and kind of clear the walls there. And then we're counting on volunteers to paint everything when the effort is nearly done. And so our first cost estimate came in at around $120,000. We'd be buying all new appliances, a new stove, we don't have one now, 3 new sinks, a vent hood, we don't have any kitchen ventilation now. There'd be a new refrigerator, a new restaurant-style refrigerator, and a microwave, and a lot of heavy-duty electric outlets for induction cooktops. That's right.
So I'll repeat what you're saying, Becca. For those of you online, the 3 sinks, one will be designated specifically for flower preparation, because we do lots of flowers here at Kadampa Center. And then a second sink would be designated primarily for Sangha care, for preparation of tea, hot water, drinks, and things like that for Sangha. And then the third one would be kind of the main kitchen sink. So we're really excited about these separate prep areas.
Yes, and they would actually be hooked to a hot water heater, which there was one in this building back before we owned it. And somehow in that early days, it got taken out and we haven't had one. There was a temporary electric one that hooked to the one sink for some years till it rusted out and had to be thrown away. So yeah, we're actually, and hook hot water to the wash bowls in the restroom, and put in a new light fixture in the women's bathroom, which has needed it badly for years. So those are some of the fixes. Now, I don't know if there's questions or...
Robbie, can you answer questions? We have one online as well. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Let's wait for Mike when we do it. Ask questions. Okay. So you go ahead. Sorry. Yeah. So the question online is, will we still be able to use the Kadampa, or will we need a temporary space?
Well, I certainly think things will be a mess out there in that end of the building. Things will be torn up. But yes, we're expecting to use the Kadampa continuously, not miss anything here. The only fixing in here is to saw some little holes in this wall to put in plugs. Oh, and yes, I forgot, just a couple of weeks ago, we've wanted to replace all these light fixtures because a lot of them are failing. They're 30 years old. And one of our members, Mr. Nix, a couple of weeks ago, came forward and volunteered to give us the cost of a complete new set of fixtures. And that's about 40 of these. And so he's already given us a couple to try out, and we're going to try one different model, settle on exactly which one. He said, when you figure out which exact model you want to order, just tell me, and I'll have them all delivered. And so that's like $4,000 worth of light fixtures, and we're looking forward to that and to having volunteers put them in. Except for the new ones in the restrooms, which will have to be hooked up with a licensed electrician. Question?
How are the vendors going to be sourced for like electrical or anything else that's going to be needed?
How are the vendors?
Is that going to be through the architect, or is that going to be through someone here at the center? I mean, how are we going to hire an electrician, I guess is the ultimate question.
Cherry Architecture recommended a company here in town, Quality Builders. They've been in business for many years. And Louis Cherry, the architect, who used to be an active member here years ago, recommended Quality Builders, and as far as I can see, that's who we're going to go with. So Quality Builders then, as a general contractor, has to select the plumber and the electrician, and they're doing that. And they're responsible for making sure they perform well and, selecting somebody good. So that's how and then before you can even submit the plans to City Hall, you have to specify who all the contractors and subcontractors are. So that'll all be done here within the next week or two. So that's how we're acquiring it, I guess, based on recommendation.
Okay, thank you.
I'll try to make this fairly brief. Geshe-la mentioned the board leadership. I'm on the board. We have a kind of tradition at the Kadampa Center for joining the board and staying quite a while. Our intention is to shorten that up a bit. I started in March of 2019. I'll be cycling off in March of 2025. But again, that's not our intention going forward. I was reflecting on a couple things. The two most recent themes for the annual appeal last year was creating a sustainable future, and this year is embrace change. And also 2 periods of time, March of 2020 through March of 2022, when our doors were actually closed here at the center. And then, sorry, I'm nervous. I don't know why. Well, just take a breath. In the March of 2022 through spring of this year, where we were open. It was quite a lot of effort just to think about how do we open the doors 2 years ago? How do we keep it clean? How do we keep people safe? How do we do hybrid? Because we went offline, but then we had to come back online and also implement all of this great new technology. So that was quite a bit. During that time, we barely caught our breath, I think, opening, and then we had the great fortune of Khenso Rinpoche coming. So if you look at the just most previous 18 months, Khenso Rinpoche came again, Ling Rinpoche came, we had Vajra Yogini, I think that was in the past 18 months. The mandala, yeah, that was on my list, too small. The mandala, y'all call stuff out, I'd be happy to repeat it. That's just the past 18 months. Other visiting teachers, Venerable Amy, Venerable Rabina. Yeah, so we have had a lot going on.
which is wonderful, but it does kind of relate back to those two things of, you know, what Robbie was saying about the things that attract people and the need to be sustainable. It also reminds me of this one thing that I used to use all the time. There's an FPMT guide, I think it's like Practical Guide for Skillful Means for Volunteers, and there's a piece of it when it talks about Lama Yeshe and Lama Zopa Rinpoche kind of in India, standing, looking, I think they were looking at all the hippies and all the people kind of gathered there. I can give you guys the exact quote, but the way it was written was kind of like they looked over this view and said, we really need something to hold this all together. And that's sort of the start of the FPMT, which I think reminds me of where we are now today. So it's change, we need leadership, we need fresh leadership. It's amazing the service that people have offered over the years and the great links that they have offered over the years, and some consistency is good, but new ideas are great as well. So, you know, if you think about what it takes to have a good leadership team, you know, needing vision, needing a good plan, needing someone to poke holes in the plan, you know, all the different aspects. If you or someone you know has that kind of vision, has this sense of how to pull things together, has the energy and the ability to implement, and this is a role that you play in other parts of your life, and you want to serve Kadampa Center, we want to hear from you, or we want to hear from people that we want you to nominate someone who might not see in themselves those great qualities. So I'm going to volunteer Robbie. You can talk to Robbie if you want to nominate someone for the board, but maybe we'll come out with a more official form or something like that. But yeah, fundraising, generosity, you know, reaching out, being a good communicator, all those things. That's what this center needs. And Geshe-la, do you want to add something to that? Okay. All right. Thank you guys for the patience.
Yeah, so if you do want to follow up on that, yes, Robbie said you can talk to him or email him, catch him here at the center. I think that's all, unless there's any other questions about plans moving forward. I'll pass the mic over to Robbie.
So the plans are on the table out there. I'd be happy to let people look at them, look through the sheets if you'd like to, as we end here.
Okay, thank you everyone for participating. That'll be the next in the next phase. Yes, I mean this may just be the first phase of extending the center out in that direction with a dedicated community room, but we're just doing, we'd like to have more bathrooms and everything, but that just didn't seem feasible now. I'd just like to, the way I put things into perspective, $100,000, $125,000 sounds like a lot of money. But when you think we've been here for 17 years using this building nonstop, and we've done no major maintenance on the building, and the building has, the site has increased in value tremendously during that time. I think it looks like a more reasonable amount. I'm not saying we should enter into this lightly, and certainly David is looking at every possible way to reduce expenses on this, but I think if we take that perspective, it makes this thing seem a lot more manageable.
Well, on cost, I would just say we've done two major remodeling or addition projects here over the years. One was build the stupa, and the other was add the classroom building. And so if you put it into today's dollars, adding the classroom building cost us about $100,000. And if you had taken away all the volunteer labor with which we built the stupa, it would have been probably a $250,000 effort. Just buying the materials and hiring Jampo cost us about $100,000 years ago. So this remodeling project here, we're thinking of it as remodeling with all its different aspects, part of which is a kitchen. And it's going to fall in the middle in terms of those expenses, somewhere between the classroom and the stupa. So I know it sounds like a lot, but we just can't do it for less. That's today's cost. And
Yes, Cherry Architects is
Cherry Architects
far less than their normal fees.
Yeah, they've sent in their first bill, $11,000, and they said, we're going to charge you $3,000, and please count the rest of it as a donation. So, yeah, people are being generous to us, and I think the contractor is cutting his prices pretty low too, actually, and so I'm feeling good about all that.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Geshe Gelik. And let's just take a moment and dedicate the positive energy that we've created here together, and may that ripen in the future in a way that benefits all sentient beings. Okay, thank you, everyone. Please look at the plans outside if you're interested.
Movie night on Friday. Arrive at 6:30, movie starts at 7. All right, everyone, thanks for coming today and sticking around to hear about the renovation plans. Bye.